But yeah, like for me, I'm like everything has to be a party. Everything has to be like you
Yeah.
know. So for people with a more subtle personality,
This is a perfect
and
place.
yeah, and people that want to go a little bit off the beaten path and are more into discovery, yeah, I think this is a good place.
Okay, I gotta bring up the topic that everybody wants me to talk about from the channel.
Uh oh.
Is uh, how dangerous, dangerous. How do you say? First of all, how do you say dangerous and
Perigosa.
Perigosa. How Perigosa is Fortaleza, Brazil? Because I googled it and they made it like it was the toughest place on the planet.
É perigoso demais, you know.
Very dangerous.
All right, so this is coming from the perspective of somebody from America where
It goes
they're-
down. It goes
yeah,
down.
like where people have guns, where we got school shootings,
Yeah.
where people really will knock you out for some shoes. You know,
Yeah.
like that is the perspective that I'm coming from, and like this place for me is very tame.
You're a
compared to
you're a
that.
black female.
Yes.
So and you're a woman, so you can speak for all the women abroad.
Yes.
You don't feel that.
Nah. Like here, you have to well. One of the interesting things but again, particularly white Brazilians, because a lot of them are from the upper class, and what I have noticed is that a lot of them don't have what we would call like street intelligence, street smarts. You know, and I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's because they have been sheltered a lot. I'm not sure. But for them, they perceive like somebody like stealing a phone or showing a weapon. They see that as being equally dangerous as like maybe living in the hood here, being forced to enter a life of crime.
Okay.
The reason that they say that is because the homicide rate is relatively high, but the part that they don't tell you is that most of this, and it's not acceptable, but it's just to give you perspective of that homicide rate. Most of that is the young, poor, black men and women between, I think it's the ages of 15 and 29, and typically it's not like random killings like what you would see in the United States. It's like people specifically involved like specifically involved in gangs and things like that.
Owing somebody money, they're from a different gang.
Yes, that is where if you were to remove that specific group, because it's also not true that the majority of them are involved in that. But there are, in a city of 2 million, there's going to be that aspect.
Yes.
Now, if it is somebody who's involved in that, then it's dangerous out there. But even if you go to the hood and it's just a family, but that's not involved in that, like the death count goes way down.
Okay.
There's not as many like stray bullets, carjackings and all that, and like school shootings at the mall, shooting at the country music concert. They don't have like the type of random crime. I'll tell you about the time of terror.
Okay, the
Here.
time of terror. What's the time of terror? What's that about?
About 3 years ago, I think this was no, it was longer, like some years ago. I can't even remember what made them mad, but there was some sort of edict that came about from the government, and it made the gangs very mad, and so they started burning up buses and burning up government buildings, and it was treated as like a really, really dangerous and scary time here.
In Fortaleza. This is Fortaleza.
Yeah,
Yes,
people were in their houses, and for me, and I was waiting for them to go Mexican, to start taking hostages maybe,
Yeah.
and peeling skin off while people were alive, bombing buses with people in them. That's what I was expecting to happen. and it just never came. And why is that? Is because there is a code among the people here, you know.
Okay.
Typically, if somebody is going to get killed over a phone, it's because they said, no, I'm not going to give you my phone. No, I'm not going to give you what you asked for. Because a lot of times too, again, especially those upper class people, they don't have street intelligence. So for you, if somebody come to you, show you a gun and say, give me that phone, you're going to be like, here, have a nice day. Yes.
So a car says
exactly.
It has this feature and that feature.
Exactly.
And yes, you can delete all my messages. If you want, you can even email me and send my numbers there, and you can delete it afterwards.
Exactly.
Really
you're going to give it to them.
Appreciate your crime service.
Exactly. You're going to give it to them, and you're going to say, get away from me, get out of my face, nice to see you. But what a lot of them will do is they'll try to take a stand against this person, and they don't realize that once they try to do that, like their level of danger went from like 2 to 50.
2 to 50 on you,
yeah, because they don't because most of the robbers are poor people. They're darker skinned people.
Okay.
And then you have them, in my opinion, I think that they tend to focus on the people who are not phenotypically like them if they're going to go steal, you know?
Okay.
You know, so you have these people that are immediately put in this position of like, you know, like, oh, now I'm in the weak position because the classism is so strong here. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
And
go into a little detail about that so they can understand. I mean, and if you can go into a little detail regarding that.
The classism.
Yeah, explain it to them, like.
The classism here, it touches every part of the society.
Okay.
I know that when you got here, you probably said, "Where are all these black?"
I don't see them. It's not many.
These mulattoes and octoroons and quadroons that we always see on TV, right?
Yeah, I don't see them here like that.
Yeah, like because this is the rich neighborhood. There is a. It is not legal segregation, but it is like a socially accepted segregation that happens here.
Okay.
And typically when you see a white person here, they're going to be in class A or class B. At the cashiers in the front, you'll see a darkening of the skin because being a waiter in this place is considered kind of a chic job.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Honey,
arrived.
the waiters and stuff here, if they're in a like kind of a rich area in a rich restaurant, these people are making like $5,000 and $6,000 a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. In a place like this, wow.
Yes. In this place, they're probably making closer to maybe $3,000 or $4,000 because they don't rely on tips. Like they get like a fixed salary.
Okay, they get a fixed salary, so they'll tell you, all right.
Yep. Yeah, so like once you start, that's why I want to take you to another area so you can see.
I want to see the
people
melanin,
change.
the melanin people. Let me see where they at. Because I don't see them. I mean, I see them in Salvador Bahia. I saw them in I said Salvador Bahia and Sao Paulo.
They don't have a lot of phenotypically African, the way that we look people here. The majority of the people here who are black, like I said, they'll be like kind of like what we would consider like mulatto, or like if you're from like the New Orleans area, you know, like octoroon, quadroon, like they'll have that look. But here they are considered black, or they'll be like a dark Indian, dark native Brazilian, and they are also considered black.
Well, I guess I was going to ask you a question about what you do for work, but I'll ask you that in a little bit. Let's stay on this topic. So,